really had a foothold on like a whole generation.
You need someone to sort of be a little edgier.
Or you see him on the screen and you're going, wow, what is behind those eyes?
It's just a true legend, and I'm one of the keepers of the legend.
James Dean's life in 30 seconds. Okay, February 8th, 1931, 2:03 in the morning, he was delivered at home at the House of Seven Gables in Marion, okay? Lived there a few months, moved to Fairmount, and he was raised there till he was 18. Right after he graduated from high school, he got advice, go to New York, and so he goes to New York and starts getting bit parts on the new medium called television, and they were hungry for new actors, and so he got 33 parts in television series, okay? He was in 3 Broadway plays, then he went out and made 3 movies in Hollywood. And you gotta remember that his whole professional acting career was only 18 months. And then on September 30th, 1955, 5:45 p.m., he dies in an auto crash.
He said things to his parents that kids at that time in the 50s were afraid to say to their parents. He sort of opened things up for them. He was not a rebel, though. That's all Hollywood.
Okay, James Dean's lasting appeal happens because everybody goes from childhood to adult, and when they cross that threshold of going into adolescence, the same fears, the same anxieties, the same anxious personality, everyone exhibits them. And who showed it better than James Dean?
It's hard for us to put that into a concept because I think we're from a different generation where people talk like that more often. So I think like in his generation it was a lot more groundbreaking, but for us that sort of, we'd almost see that as normal. But if we had gone back in his time, it would have a lot bigger impact.
So this is the effect that James Dean has on people, you know, that they come from Japan year after year after year. A guy from Australia bought a house here in Fairmount just so he could come and vacation here, all right? So, I mean, the lasting effect on his fans is just monumental. It has changed everyone's life. I'm gonna tell you, the best people I ever met, the funniest, the nicest, the greatest people, my best friends are all Deaners.
I didn't know too much about him, but more of him being in movies and, you know, that good-looking actor kind of image he had going for him. But it was really cool to see, again, like how many people, like just the fan clubs and the people who wrote letters and people, like how he impacted so many people's lives.
People gravitate towards the idols that they are most like, okay? And so this is what separates the Elvis fans from the Marilyn fans from the James Dean fans, you know. And the people, most of them that I know, who like James Dean, a little bit more artistic, a little bit more intellectual, a little bit more interested in life, just like Jimmy.
He was doing television and stuff, and I happened to see, you know, it's like when he appeared with former President Reagan, you know, we sat out there and watched it on a black and white TV, which was, you know, it was like, he was, you know, just a celebrity here locally.
I think, well, one thing that stands out to me is there's a plaque over in this gallery, and it was thanking the drama teacher from this neighborhood who had inspired him and saw him as an actor and I guess pushed him to become who he is or help recognize his talent. And I think if you were to think of a world without James Dean and without those movies and him sort of pushing the envelope, I don't think media or movies would be what they are today.
11 years in the Army, and I've been to 9 foreign countries and 27 different states. James Dean's already been there, okay? I was in Desert Storm, went over to Iraq. I pulled out my James Dean lighter, and this old Iraqi woman, she looked 100 years old, she come over there and she pointed and she goes, James Dean, James Dean. You know, I was in Berlin, got off the train station, took my suitcase, was heading towards the hotel, and I turned the corner, and there, a city block long, 2 stories tall, was this billboard, James Dean selling cigarettes. He had the giant pose with his head down and his feet, you've seen the picture, and he was selling cigarettes. So in the island of Cyprus, I was on the beach, I walked up, and there was a movie theater right on the road, and it said, now playing Rebel Without a Cause.
James Dean's forever. You know, he's going 100 years from now, they'll still be coming here, going to his grave site, going to the few memorials around locally, but he's forever.